Welcome to your astrocast for this full moon in Sagittarius. Okay, so I have got so much to share. And first thing I want to say is this full moon is it's multifaceted. I want to drop into the eclipse. I want to drop into the moon in Sag, and I want to drop into all the aspects. So I'm going to try to keep it under 30 minutes. So we'll see how we go. Please keep in mind that when I read these forecasts, they're meant to illuminate some ideas about how to work with this energy of the moon. It may, or parts of it may or may not resonate with you. A lot of that has to do with your own interpretation according to your chart. If you want your chart read, because you want to see, how this moon kind of lines up or any kind of energy that's happening right now with the moon or the planetary orchestration that I like to call it, that's happening right now. If you want your chart kind of compared to it, please reach out to me. I love reading people's charts. And we also have a full moon circle. It is virtual this time around. We'll be doing it on Tuesday night, the night before the full moon at 6 p.m. So if you want to join us for that, all the links are below if you're on YouTube, it's in the description. And if you are watching this on Instagram, it is in the link in my bio, but you can always find it at danadamarayoga.com. Okay, enough of that. Let's talk about the full moon. Okay, full moon lunar eclipse in Sagittarius. So first thing I want to say is this full moon is happening on May 26th, 4:14 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. So it's happening pretty early. Those of you in the Americas, we will not be able to see the eclipse itself, but we will definitely be able to feel this energy from the eclipse. Now, it's so much I don't know where to start, so I'm going to start with the eclipse because that's the thing that keeps coming up for me. So the eclipse, whenever we have an eclipse, it's um, it's like the lights have gone out, right? It's like, and I liken this to turning off the power button on your computer, right? So the power button goes off and everything gets reconfigured, and then you turn your computer back on, and there's all these inner workings in the background. You have no idea what has shifted, if you've lost a file, if something's become corrupted, if something is now expanded, but shifts have happened, right? So when you experience an eclipse, which we do every year, that's kind of what happens. And this year is much easier than last year, but this year isn't without its well, the energy that keeps coming to me is like deceit or illusion. We have a lot of Neptune energy in there. Mercury's going into retrograde. So, the biggest thing with this full moon lunar eclipse is to stay really focused on your path and try not to um, take into account all the external noise that's happening. Okay, so I want to try to go in order. I have notes like I always do, and I'm going to share my screen so you can kind of see what I am talking about. So here we go. And I'm going to put on my glasses because, well, then I don't have to squint because then that makes me look old and I don't necessarily need to speed up that process. Okay, so here is the full moon lunar eclipse, May 26th, 4:13 a.m., 4:14 a.m. So this whole thing just kind of gives you a map of what's going on with the planets, right? So you have the moon over here at 5 degrees Sag, and then you've got the sun in Gemini. It's sitting right next to the North Node, so there's a lot of karmic activity that is illuminated. And then you also see here you've got Venus and Mercury pretty much conjunct each other within a 3-degree orb. Um, you've got your Uranus, Saturn almost square, almost exact square. June 3rd, it will be exact. It's close enough to be exact if you want to ask my personal humble opinion. And then you have this, see Jupiter right here? Jupiter is at 1 degree Pisces, and it is squaring the moon and the sun. Okay, so again, within a 4-degree orb. Now, I want to keep in mind too, okay, we've got Chiron over here in Aries, and Chiron is the healer. And so just let's keep that kind of at the background, because with Chiron in Aries, well, first of all, Chiron is always about healing. Chiron in Aries, it's going to be here for a total of 8 years. And this is all about healing ancestral lines, healing from the beginning. You know, Aries is the very first sign of the zodiac wheel. So just keep that in mind as you kind of look at this chart. So Sagittarius, dun, 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 Moon in Sag, Sun in Gemini, Jupiter Pisces. Um, Sagittarius with the moon is really the sign of truth, the sign of adventure, the sign of keeping the faith. Um, it's the sign that Jupiter rules. So we've got this quest for truth, which is interesting because Mercury will go into retrograde on the 29th. And also, I didn't even point this out, Neptune is sitting here, and Neptune is actually squaring pretty much within 2 degrees Mercury. So again, remember Mercury is going into retrograde, so even a little bit more uh, like there's something underneath the truth. There's like something that needs to be looked at just a little bit deeper. So it's a challenging time for negotiations, contracts. I'm not saying don't do it. I'm just saying look at all the pieces before you like sign on the dotted line, right? Just kind of really evaluate and don't just evaluate from a logistical standpoint, evaluate from a higher mind and intuitive standpoint as well. That feeds right into my theme this week for class. But this is a really beautiful opportunity, this full moon lunar eclipse, and it's like I've been waiting for it. It's epic after this last year that we've had. At the same time, just be wise, like use discernment with this full moon. Pay attention to what you're doing, what you're saying, who you're working with, who you're dealing with, and what's really serving you and what isn't. And you'll know what that is because you'll feel it. Okay. This is about optimism. This is about faith, about something coming forward that maybe you didn't think of. Remember, it's an eclipse, so it's like, bam, the lights go out. Now, what do you want, right? Um, we're seeking solutions to, I don't want to say problems, but we're seeking solutions to possibly that Uranus Saturn square that is going to be with us all year. Remember, it's restrictions up against freedom and liberation all year in all areas of our life. So when we talk about the sign of Sag, Sag wants solutions, and Sag rules philosophy and our belief system and the remembrance that we can believe what we want to believe. I mean, look at Saturn in Aquarius. Saturn up here in Aquarius. Saturn was in that staunchy Capricorn for a really long time. And now Saturn's moved into Aquarius, where we make decisions from an altruistic standpoint, where we're serving others and we think of the other, and the people kind of rule as opposed to that top-down hierarchy. So we have this opportunity to eclipse these old patterns and ideas that we've been carrying around from our ancestors, from our government, from societal beliefs. We have the power to choose. And I will say this, and I'm going to just stop share for a second. I will say this, we've always had that choice, but I think sometimes we forget it because we get kind of caught up, right? So just come back to that remembrance that, oh yeah, I have a choice, and oh yeah, I have a choice to make decisions based on the needs of others and not in the struggle of my own, right? Um, so looking to see how you can shift or rearrange your life to be in service to the greater good, you know, um, and that doesn't mean burning out and serving everybody else before you. It means remembering that we truly are all one, and that, when we speak for everyone else, and um, what we do for another, we're really doing for ourselves. And so having these this moment with this eclipse to eclipse any old ideas of separation, um, to eclipse any people, experiences, or moments in your life that created that idea of separation, if that makes sense. Um, this is really a beautiful time to examine your belief system. And I'm going to talk a lot about that in my podcast coming up the day after the full moon. But it's really a moment to say to yourself, when I hit that power button off, what beliefs about myself or my capabilities or this world or my value, because Venus is in here too, um, what what ideas and beliefs do I hold so dear that just don't really make any sense or serve me anymore? That's really what we're going for. And again, this is, if you're on the self-inquiry train, um, then you're in a consistent state of, you know, I don't want to make it sound like work, but you're reevaluating yourself when things don't feel quite right. And right now we're moving into a beautiful time of joy and abundance. And I just really make sure that anything that is disillusioning you or that is old, that isn't serving, let it be eclipsed. I'm going to go back to the screen. Okay. Um, so ask one thing you can do with this full moon, ask yourself what beliefs you're still holding on to that were handed to you at some point in time that maybe worked but don't work anymore. And allow yourself to be able to navigate away from those. Um, Maybe you have some beliefs that um, you know, you took on in a response to a certain situation in your life. Maybe you're fearful of something that is really, it's not necessary anymore, right? And think in terms of lack for just a moment here. Stay with me. Versus abundance. Okay, so I don't have enough time. There isn't enough of this. I'm not enough. So this is a full moon that's really accentuating not only your belief system, but your belief system around abundance and your ability to step into that energy of abundance, not create abundance, but step into the energy of it. Um, and then something to keep in mind, and again, I'll talk about this in my podcast a little bit more, but our beliefs actually determine our outcome of our life. So it's really important to understand your beliefs, and 90% of your beliefs are born out of an emotion or an emotional response. So just keep that in mind as you move through this full moon. And remember that, I always say this, life is like, it's like Earth school, and we're this beautiful soul that is made up of light, that is made up of the same light that is in the stars and the planets, and we're just housed in this body, in this Earth suit, walking around, this planet Earth, like, okay, what lesson am I going to learn today? And keeping your feet on the ground as a human, but remembering that there's this like bigger divine presence, the omnipresence all the time. Um, and if you don't believe me, just go out and look at the full moon, perhaps, and then maybe you'll feel it. I do want to say that with the positivity that's available, because we have where is it? Venus, right here. Here's Venus. So Venus is sitting right next to Mercury, which can create a little bit of tension. But Venus is about abundance and value and financial freedom and liberation and love and beauty and romance, and just think Goddess Venus. There are some other things that I really want to make sure that you're aware of, and this also has to do with Jupiter. So Jupiter is, and I'm just going to point to Jupiter, it's right up here, and Jupiter it has expansive qualities. I mean, Jupiter just moved into Pisces, which is like, oh, all the angels are like in choir, like so excited. And Jupiter will be in Pisces through 2022. Well, except when it goes into retrograde for a few months. But other than that, it's going to be in Pisces for, quite a bit of time. And that is incredible because it's expansive. But there is a dark side. There's a dark side to every planet and every sign. So there's a light and a dark. And one thing to be aware of with Jupiter is Jupiter tends to over exaggerate and get super excited and like overspend and spend before it's earned, or romanticize um, some sort of uh, activity or encounter into something that is completely way over exaggerated. So just be mindful of that, okay? Because remember, Neptune is sitting right there too. Neptune is squaring, okay? So Jupiter is, where am I? Okay, there I am. So Jupiter is squaring the Sun and the North Node. See right here? Doo -doo. But Neptune is squaring Venus and Mercury. So you have this like, oh yeah, I have these great ideas and I just met the perfect person, and either a business partner or a romantic partner. Oh my God, like everything is so perfect. Okay, take a breath, be discerning, check in with intuitive and the gut and the third eye. Is this for real? Oh, wait, Mercury's in retrograde. Do I have to sign that contract right now? Do I have to put all my eggs in one basket? Do I have, just be discerning. That's all. Like, I'm all about rose-colored glasses, putting them on and going, yay, everything is beautiful and lovely. Um, and just be super mindful, okay? Um, so Mercury and Venus squaring Neptune, I showed that to you just a moment ago. Here's Neptune squaring Mercury and Venus. It can add to that idea of deception. And it doesn't mean someone's deceiving you. It might mean that your old beliefs are deceiving you. Aha, right? So be on the lookout for the naysayers. That's really your own thoughts. Ding, 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 ding. So be mindful that your old beliefs aren't the things that are deceiving you. And those old beliefs will show up as people experience something, some relationship outside of yourself when um, you're unsure. You're unsure. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. What's my belief? What do I believe? So get super rooted in what your true beliefs are. And I would start with like the 5 beliefs that come up for you and ask yourself, is this true? And this is a great Byron Katie work. Like, I love her, like, is this true? Is it really true? Well, who would I be without that belief? What would happen if I didn't have that belief? What could happen? It's beautiful. If you've never read into Byron Katie, please do. Her website is thework.com. Changed my life. Changed my life. So again, it's making the full moon is making this T square to Jupiter, which on one hand is like epic opportunities and epic fortunate outcomes and like amazing, impactful change of events and how you actually view your life. So very positive, 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 but don't over exaggerate. Just and you also don't want to be the one that's like, well, this is really great, but I don't want to get too excited. Like, be excited if something comes your way. Like, yes, this is so what I deserve. This is amazing. And just be in it in a flow that is in a sweet balance of keeping your feet on the ground and your head in the sky. Okay. Um, let's see, I'm looking here. Da, 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 da. The sun, the sun and Jupiter. So again, the sun will magnify um, any aspect of a planet that it is in tune with, making an aspect to. And it's sitting next to the North Node, which is karma. It's your lessons in life. And the sun is also making that beautiful aspect, obviously, to the moon, but also to Jupiter. So just, again, stay disciplined, discern, what is important to you. Here's a great example. I'm going to use an example from my own life, right? So I've been working on finishing up all my recorded content for my yoga school, like all of COVID. I have been recording, which, by the way, is something I do not enjoy. It's challenging for me to be on camera, but here I am. And I have like one course left, and I'm at that end, right? And it's like, ah, ah, I have all these other things that I want to do. I can just put this thing on hold. No, finish the damn course, right? So stay focused and disciplined on the project, the healing, the lesson, like whatever it is that you have been putting your energy to. Don't be swayed by something shiny, because the something shiny is still going to be around if it's meant to be. Okay, so don't like go off track. Don't over romanticize. And then when Mercury comes out of retrograde, there'll be even more clarity. Okay. Um, Mercury is slowing down to go into retrograde. Mercury will conjunct Venus. So this is again a message about abundance and love and financial freedom, and really um, focusing on health and wellness, and how you can really support yourself on this journey. And this 2021 is like an amazing new path, um, but it's also Uranus squaring Saturn. So there's going to be these moments all year long where you're facing a choice of liberation or restriction, liberation or restriction, liberation or restriction. And you're going to want to move toward liberation, but with a wise eye and open heart and grounded feet. Okay. Let me go back to the screen one more time. Okay, let's see, what else do I have? Venus square Neptune gives us a heightened awareness about our value, but it also creates, again, illusion. Neptune creates illusion, so be mindful. Really drop in. Don't rush into things. Be um, discerning, and um, just listen a little bit deeper. Um, let's see, Mars trine Neptune. Let's see, where is Mars? Oh, there's Mars. Mars is in Cancer, so it's down here. Mars is the initiator, and then Neptune is up here in Pisces. And so Mars in Cancer, Mars is the initiator. Neptune and Mars is in a water sign right now, which is a little off for Mars, but Neptune is also in a water sign. So Mars is in Cancer, trining Neptune, is asking you to really um, learn about how you love, what initiates love for you, what gets in your way as far as illusion or beliefs, you could say. So just take some time for yourself during the full moon to maybe meditate, pray, or journal around what lights you up in all areas of your life, not just human connection. Um, and then I mentioned Chiron here in Aries, and one thing I want to say about Chiron in Aries, I just want to make sure this is right. It is. Okay, good. It's not written on here, but I noticed it for some reason. So Chiron is, see here, Saturn. Chiron is sextile to Saturn within a 2-degree orb. And so um, remember I mentioned earlier about Saturn moving into Aquarius, and now we're taking on this altruistic view of life, right? So none of this top-down hierarchy system, super hyper structure, like it was when it was in Capricorn. It's more expanded, right? So when we have Chiron sextiling Saturn and Aquarius, it's really giving us opportunity to look at those systems that we're putting into place, say, that have a more altruistic view, a more altruistic feel, a more service oriented, compassionate oriented feel, and look at them as profound healing opportunities. And I'm not talking about just for you, I'm talking about for the world. Like, um, if you have some sort of great idea that will support, say, you know, kids in your neighborhood, like that, the systems that you are dreaming up right now in your mind's eye and in your heart and on paper, whatever it is you're doing, um, it has the opportunity to expand, not tomorrow, but stay that course of thinking bigger picture, thinking healing, thinking um, actually feeling from the heart. Okay. So this full moon is amazing. It's beautiful. It's like laced in epic opportunity. It is also um, a moment to be mindful. So take some time, pray, meditate, join our circle. Circle again, you can find either in the description on YouTube or on my Instagram, the link in my bio. Or you can go to danadamarayoga.com and you'll see it. Comes a little list. Would love to do your chart. Let me know if that works for you. But in the meantime, just enjoy this energy of the full moon and get out there and stare at it and sit in it and just let it soak into your cells. I want to say thank you so much for showing up and being here, and have a beautiful, beautiful full moon lunar eclipse. Take care. Namaste.